Jackpot was directed by Paul Feig, who brought you Bridesmaids, a movie I think is hilarious, as well as the 2016 Ghostbusters, which was not very funny. And it stars two very funny people, Awkwafina and John Cena. Simu also makes an appearance in this. And this is set in the near future, where a grand lottery has been newly established in California. The only catch is, kill the winner before sundown to legally claim their multi-billion-dollar jackpot. And in this case, the winner is an aspiring actress named Katie, played by Awkwafina. And she's joined on this journey by a lawyer/protection agent, whatever you want to call him, and he's played by John Cena. And it's directed by Paul Feig, so there's bound to be some comedy in here. Now, I really like a good chunk of what this director has done in the past. Paul Feig, I think, has put together a lot of really funny projects. Bridesmaids comes to mind. The Heat as well, starring McCarthy and Sandra Bullock. Yeah, both really funny. But then he came out with that Ghostbusters remake back in 2016, and it just... that movie broke my heart, man. And here he has a couple of very funny and very charming leads in Awkwafina and John Cena, and both of whom I think do a really solid job here. Yes, I can already sense you in the comments thinking that Awkwafina is just annoying as all hell, but I don't care if I get hate for this. Awkwafina's funny. And John Cena's funny as well, even though you never really see him in the frame. Like, it's almost as if he's invisible. But I think him and Awkwafina have some decent enough comedic chemistry in here. And it was also really fun to see Simu reunited with Awkwafina after the greatness that was Shang-Chi in The Legend of the Ten Rings. It's interesting to see their dynamic where they're up against one another as opponents. You know, as opposed to best friends who grew up, and Awkwafina's kind of Shang-Chi's sidekick. I think you have a lot of really fun dynamic shifts in this one. And conceptually, Jackpot is not a bad idea whatsoever. Granted, you have seen this sort of fugitive story and dystopian game show-esque type of story as well. I'm thinking of the Hunger Games series, to be more precise. I can almost envision exactly what the pitch was when Jackpot was brought to Prime Video. Like the Hunger Games, but you have some comedy in there. Matter of fact, it's all comedy. And yeah, the lack of creativity is what kind of holds back Jackpot for me. Not just in the idea, but in the comedic writing. There were a few points where I definitely got a few chuckles here and there, especially out of John Cena. And I'm not just saying that as bias, of course, because, you know. But yeah, it's almost in the same vein as that Ghostbusters remake, where I wanted that movie to be a lot funnier. And even though the dialogue in this one wasn't as offending to me as the Ghostbusters movie was, I was pretty disappointed in how little I was laughing at this. Because judging from the trailers and from the advertising for this thing, I feel like I should have really dug this. But then again, I also remember that this is a streaming exclusive, and then I get really sad. Because I was fooled yet again. So even though this movie is nowhere near the top of the list of 2024 films, I don't think it's anywhere even near the bottom. I still found myself pretty entertained by this, especially by our two leads. But it's an idea that's been done to death. The jokes really aren't even all that great. And even though some of this fight choreography can get pretty funny and somewhat creative, if you're gonna go full comedy, like, go all out with this action. Like, make it as slapstick and as ridiculous as you possibly can. And even then, I feel like they didn't go as ridiculous as I wanted them to. But nevertheless, I do feel like both of our stars, as well as Simu in a very entertaining turn, I feel like they all saved this movie from being a complete failure. Because the messages in this movie are surprisingly pretty sweet, and I think everybody does a good job at portraying that. I definitely feel like I prefer a drama in the style of the Hunger Games for this idea as opposed to a straight-up comedy. I'm going to give Jackpot a C-. In a sense, if you're scrolling through Prime Video, this is not the winning lottery ticket you want to come across. But let me know what you thought of Jackpot down in the comment section below. Do you guys think Awkwafina is a comedic genius? Do you guys like John Cena as an actor? There's a lot that we can discuss over here on this channel and then some. I'm talking all things in the cinematic world over here on the regular. If you've stumbled across the channel for the first time, do consider subscribing. Tap on that thumbs up as well. This weekend, I'm looking forward to catching Blink Twice as well as the remake of The Crow. Looking forward to talking about both of those. And yesterday, I finished recording something really cool in relation to Pulp Fiction. That video should be put together and coming very soon, so stay tuned for that as well. Y'all are the best. Thank you again for your support. And with all that being said, Back Talk, commence.